And now I'd like to welcome to the program a Czech member of European Parliament, Tomasz Zdechovsky. Hello, sir, and thanks for joining us today.
Hello, good afternoon from the Czech Republic.
Well, thank you for joining us. And of course, we've got lots of threads to discuss. I'm sure you've heard of the Polish judge who's defected to Belarus, probably a long-term Russian asset here. I'm sure this isn't the only problem in Europe. But we've also heard about this. Financial Times reported just a couple days ago about the increased likelihood of Russian attacks in Europe, whether they be cyber attacks or whether they even be terrorist attacks using proxies. Let's start with APT28, which is this hacking group that's been affiliated with the Russian state. It's affected Poland. Today it was announced. It's affected Czech. And other countries such as Germany and the UK, and probably even more. So what can you tell us about this threat, this APT28?
Yeah, this is a huge threat, not only for the Czech and Poland, but for the Germany and all Western European countries. I think that really is necessary to cooperate and to liquidate this group, because we know very well about this group. We have a lot of information. We know that it's really financed by GRU and by FSB, and we know that we have really be very strict and stop all the financing, all members, these groups, because they are not only in this time in Russia, but they are in other countries, and it's necessary to have it international cooperation and stop this group, because these cyber attacks are in this war much more important than in some war before. And you can see that really Russia demonstrate their forces through these attacks in cyberspace, and it's necessary have it here international investigation and international cooperation against this group.
And you say exactly, you emphasize this cyber attacks as part of war. This war against Russian aggression is really coming to the forefront. And I also wanted to bring in this aspect of espionage, spy networks in Europe, because I still think that in the minds of most people, when we think of war, we think of industrial warfare, but really we're moving into something completely different, a different era. So I was wondering whether you could tell our viewers perhaps of the level of the emphasis on spy networks as war against Russian aggression, perhaps how it is that, you know, Russians actually recruit their assets in Europe, what that process might look like.
Yeah, Russia was a long time working on agents who are supporting Russian view of the war, and they were not only diplomat or former diplomats, but they were included in the States. They worked a lot with many soldiers, many military officers, with policemen, with politicians. And you can see it with huge scandal of AfD. AfD was financed by Russian, and you can see there that one of most important assistants of member of European Parliament, Maximilian Krach, was paid by Chinese, and Chinese and Russians are cooperating together, especially intelligences are cooperating and sharing now a lot of information. Also, it's really necessary to continue and to stop this network. What was stopped in the Prague, this Voice of Europe, it was part of the Russian intelligence operation, and we have it a lot of operation. You can see it in Poland, because in Poland were a lot of people what are declared that they are journalists or they worked for the state, for NGOs, what were involved in Russian propaganda and what they were paid by a Russian regime. And we have to stop this network in the Europe. The problem, huge problem, has it Germany, has it Austria, and has it Italy or Greece. And it's necessary to have it any European response on this Russian operation, because it shows that Russia take us to the war, and this war is in the form of disinformation, and this war is in the espionage, because they have it many information about our support of Ukraine, and this war is in the way that they are involved. The people what are saying we are for peace, but they are supporting Russian ideas in the European media. And we have absolutely be clear and declare that we are on the side of the democracy, freedom, and of course on the side of Ukraine, because Ukraine was attacked by Russian.
Right. So that's going to be a huge challenge for law enforcement across the European Union countries. And it actually brings me to two kind of conclusions. For one, what you're saying right now is if we simply look at who sympathizes with Russia or spins the Russian narrative, that could be a good indicator. But then also, how does law enforcement deal with that, right? We do have freedom of speech. But it also seems like follow the money. It seems like there's always a money trail connecting back to the Kremlin or somewhere back to some shady oligarch. So in your opinion, right now at this time, as we face this increased risk of these hybrid threats, how should European countries, European law enforcement respond to try and crack these networks?
It's very important, really. Stop all Russian assets. We know about the people what are involved in this conflict, what are really very close to Russia, especially in the Czech Republic, in Prague. You can find the people what are now from Russia, what are now buying real estate in Prague, in Karlovy Vary, and in other cities. And we have to stop it. We have to stop this bloody money, what are really taking from the Russia and through other countries. They are bringing to the Europe and they are investing in democratic countries. I think it's necessary to really hear our EU intelligences, especially Czech Republic and Poland has very good information about Russian operation, and I think it's necessary to give it more space to give us more information about Russian activities in Europe. And these activities we have to stop. It's about strong politicians, strong democratic politicians, what have it power and what have it courage to do it. I think that it's necessary to respond it, because I think now we have it two ways. One way is go in the way of Chamberlain, one way is go in the way of Churchill. And I hope so that we will find the way of Churchill and we will fire Russian agent out from the European Union, because it's necessary for our future democracy and democratic values.
It certainly is. Well, Tomasz Zdechovsky, thanks for joining us, Czech MEP, and I hope you guys can take up this issue in the European Parliament and get a deal done that'll benefit us all.
You can be sure. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Indeed.